Ba 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 ba. Microphone just needed a thing. Hello, welcome back to. Okay, there we go. That should work now. We should be good. Right, yeah. Welcome back to The Legend of Zelda. Um, we've done all the main quest stuff now, and we've even got the secret ending, so that's great. I kind of actually, it's weird, right? Because in some ways, you'd think that the secret ending would be the ending that is the hardest to get, but in reality, when you put in all the effort, it's probably pretty easy. Because it just comes back around to being like overpowering yourself, really. Right. We're not going to talk about writing, we're not going to talk about the narrative. We're just going to play the game, we're going to have a bit of fun, do some side quests. That's my aim for this. I should have probably gone to Lookout. I mean, it's right there, so it's not a big issue, but I can very quickly do my thingamabob. Where is it? I've got 4 of them. Okay, good stuff, good stuff. Rolf! Oh, the one right here as well. I'm the only thing that's like sort of holding me back from being like invested in doing any of this in particular is how I don't know how many of these there are. You know, there's almost like this weird. I don't know. I don't because I'm doing all this, and this game seems to have a bit of a commitment issue in certain respects, where it's like, yeah, well, certain commitment issues in the sense that, it will reward you for every step of the quest you're doing, which is a reward, but it won't like then reward you for covering everything, if that makes sense. Sometimes it will, then other times it won't, and it's extremely awkward overall because it sort of feels like, okay, I really put my effort into doing this to get something like spectacular done, like something amazing, but I got very little out of it, and that is kind of poo. Ain't gonna lie. Right, I want to test something real quick, because I don't really know how these wheels are meant to work. Right, because I look at that and my brain thinks, okay, just put one there, and one there, but if this, like, everything that the game has sort of, like, taught me about the physics side of this, so the wheels do move. Okay. I don't know how they do that, but sure. Yep. No. Oh god, are we seeing this now? There we go. Oh, that's you. I was gonna say, what the fuck? Let's make a brum brum. Let's do it then. Screw it. And we'll have a bit of a drive about Hyrule as well. We are now firmly in piss about mechanics mode. Because I've put in the effort, I've done everything this game wants me to in every other area at this point, and I'm like, okay, I've done all your main quests, I've done your narrative, I'm ready to just chill. Quite looking forward to it as well, actually. I ain't gonna lie. Kinda want to put it on there like that. There we go. Should I have a little platform for it? Maybe. There's no harm in it, I suppose. Can I do that? Was that too much to ask for? I think that might be a little too much to ask for. Right, you know what's really annoying about this in particular? Is how I really want to stick both sides down. But the game's not going to let me do that. Yeah, that's probably a hindrance as well, actually. I've just wanted to look cool, you know? I mean, yeah, I could do... Could do like that. And then slap another one down. How many I was gonna say steering wheels, and then my brain went steerymabobs. That's what they're called, steerymabobs. There we go. Yay! This is gonna be pretty cool. Let's put one down on this side as well. And then another one on the other side. Yeah, this could be fun. I've only got one fan. You know what? That's okay. That is okay. We've got some big wheels to help it along as well, so it should be alright in that regard. That's really what I should be focusing my efforts on at some point, is upgrading my Zonite charge. Because I would very much like to upgrade all of that stuff. Right, moment of truth. Off we go. Gather around the campfire, we'll sing out. I think I see an issue here. How do I want to go about this? That's not what I want to do. No! Oh god. Hang on. That boosts that up. Don't stop moving, please. Right. We put it on like level ground over here. I didn't mean to do that. Give me my wheel. Right. I suppose the alternative is that? Oh, I wasn't even paying attention to this dude. Oop. I mean, yeah, this kind of works. Got our wheels on the front. Right, okay. Here's what I'm thinking, right, because we've got Hyrule Field. I'm kind of just in the mood to I didn't really mean to take out that many, but here we go. Yeah, I'm kind of just in the mood to let's mooch about with all the equipment we've got. So, actually... Ah, fuck. It's fine, because we've got this, don't we? What? It's right there! Do I have to move all the gubbins out of the way? Maybe. Why is it not using that? Should I, like... Okay, hang on. If I actually put that down there... What the... It's almost as if, like, it's not registering. No, because that was the weird wheel one. Okay, so if I, in that case, do that... I mean, I'm annoyed that he didn't decide to take the thing that was clearly here for it, but you know, whatever, I guess. What I really wanted to do was remove these. I'm sort of making, like, a truck of sorts. Yeah, the idea is that I'm making an all-terrain vehicle out of this. That's the dream though, right? The second that we get, like, a crap ton of, Zonite charge in this game, like, the possibilities are going to be insane. No, don't touch the wheel behind it. Yeah, put it there. Um, I mean, hey, if this works, it works, right? I'm not overly bothered about the fan at the back, actually. Like, I don't really know what I've decided it would contribute to any of this, but besides from turning this game into a 50 frames per second title, going lower by the second. Ah, you know what's really, like, annoying about this? It's like I've just made this device, and there's every opportunity that it's just gonna, like... It's just completely going to vanish the second I enter a shrine or something like that. Because my brain's like, I've got some ideas for what we could do with this. You know what I almost need? I need, like... Or what this game needs. It needs, like, a garage. You know. Like, I almost want want a method of storing vehicles. Because it's almost like... It's like that when I've got the components, I kind of just want to keep the... How much Zonite do I have? That's probably a really good question. I'm looking for just pure... I've got one. I need to go to the depths then, don't I? That's probably my next step. Well, we've got a plan of action. First things first. We'll go to a shrine. We are never getting to the second layer of those hearts, are we? That is just going to go right across the screen at this point. Right. Here's what we can do. This is actually a test to see whether or not the vehicle remains. Because I've just effectively left it beyond this door, which I assume is a form of a, like, loading point. Oh, okay, it's still there, it's still there. I wish it stayed here, you know, that would be great, but... It's fine, it's fine. Right. We'll upgrade the Zonite stuff that we've got so far. kind of want to meet you up to this store over here to see what gubbins they've got. Because I don't actually think I've been to this one. I mean, I must have. The marker's there, so... that would imply visited. Is it still below? Forged construct, so the symbol just looks the same. Okay. Um... I guess we just go down to the depths. That's the only real thing I can think of. We've got a few places that we can go to, a few things that we can do still at this point in time. That's always going to be off-putting. You know what, actually? Let's just knock that off, because I do not... I don't really care for that. I kind of want to keep the travel medallion there, because if I ever do want to go back and fight Ganondorf, it's just there. You know? And I'll do it for no other reason than experimentation, and because it's a bit of a laugh. So that might be fun. Let's head off in this direction. I'm a bit confused by that. What's the sixth spirit or stone thing that we've got? I don't know. So we've got a stamp there. Oh god, there are two flies now. This is nightmarish. Okay, if I put, like, marker there, then what I can do is just, like, head over in that direction and look out for light roots along the way. Ooh, speaking of which. So yeah, I think my goal at this point would just be to get light roots. Like, not really pay much attention to anything else in this game at this point, because why not? It's something to do. I actually think that journeying in the depths is still the best part of this game. It's amazing that there wasn't more of an emphasis placed on this, but I mean, that's the other thing, right? There kind of is. Because they've placed... For some reason, they've placed temple bosses down here. That's not a criticism. That's, like, that's a big old thumbs up from me. Because it just makes them infinitely more fascinating just to approach them out naturally. It's like the idea of Breath of the Wild was to sort of just wander into things. And even then, that game had like a sort of commitment problem when it came to doing that. And this game's the same. Like, it feels like in many circumstances I am just sort of incidentally encountering Beastie Boys like this over here. Can I... Ooh, that's a thought. Okay, maybe not. You know? Thought I had a good idea. Game said no. Here we are. I don't have any arrows, so I'm kind of wondering if I can do this without the requirement for that. God, there were so many bosses in Breath of the Wild that you could just climb on. And now it all just sort of feels like they really want you to tackle this game in like a specific way in certain circumstances. Like, why can't I grab onto him? Surely it would only improve the depth of the fight, you know? It just feels incredibly awkward that I have to do that if I don't have any arrows. Because that's another thing as well, right? The game can't account for what I've got. So don't force me into a scenario where I need something specific in order to get through it. I mean, look at this. He's jumping around specifically so he can do his big suck attack. Like, everything that's happening here is more out convenience than anything else. But I had no idea how that happened. Right, let's swoop up the Zonite. I didn't mean to do that, but I'll take it. Right, over to the light route. I only got 20 charges for that. Okay. Yeah, we'll get this one, and then we'll double back and head that way. I kind of feel like that, instead of just, like, scattershotting this and just attempting to follow every light route I see, I think I need to pick an area and sort of fill it out bit by bit. Almost like section off the depths and work that way. I have realised, by the way, that my commitment to now filling out the entirety of the depths means that at some point I'm going to have to tackle all of the labyrinths as well. Which I'm perfectly... I'm fine with doing. I think that I just need to focus on getting a lot of the depths out of the way with first, though, so I can, I can get shit ton of Zonite, I can purchase a crap ton of charges, and then I can up my gubbins. I didn't mean to do that one. Oh well. Yeah. Oh wait. Okay, so I assume that when it comes to like getting the light route type thing for Hyrule Castle, it would be um what's the thing I'm trying to think of? It'll be more about lighting up the area around it rather than finding a light route within it. Because I was slightly confused by that, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, not entirely. I do understand why there isn't just a light route at the Hyrule Depths. Because the idea is like to prevent me from just being able to like zippity zap all over the place, isn't it? Like to stop me essentially from worth a try. To stop me from essentially like bypassing and abusing the end game, which I can't really do. So yeah, actually, the more I think about that, the more redundant it is, because I can't abuse the end game. The end game is like, because the autosave happens before you fight Ganondorf, you can't really abuse anything you get from that from those fights, which is kind of ridiculous in a way, because it's almost like what's the game like trying to prevent me from doing? Keep in mind this as well, right? If you go out and you if you if you say like you attempted the end game of this title really early on, right? What does like words? Yeah, if you attempted like the end game of this title really early on, right? What specifically does this title sort of have to lose for allowing you to get certain equipment early on? Because the only thing that I can think of is that it would be preventing you from abusing the materials and resources that you would get at that moment in time, but that doesn't make sense as an excuse. It doesn't make sense as an excuse because if you went into the end game from the get-go, you would have those resources by going to the end game. It's if you sort of get what I mean, it's like you'll end up getting end game material by going to the end game, and all you need to do is kill an enemy, a single enemy, to get that. um, to get that fuse. Do I want to put a light on this? Ah, fuck it, why not? I've got 3 charges now, so I have no idea how good all this is going to be. Where is it? Am I going blind? There it is. Yeah, maybe let's not have it off center. Let's just try to put it on that. And off we go. Oh wow, that is using up a lot of energy. And that's fine, because we only really need to get over there. Oh god, everything's bad. I didn't need to do any of this. Wait, where's my Master Sword? Is it... Okay, it's still recovering. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. I just wanted to know. There is so much Zonite here, holy shit. I should have been focusing on this, like, from the get-go. Could you imagine if this had, like... a despawning rule set? Like, within a certain amount of time... it all just goes. Like, I mean, like, quick. The amount of shit. Like, I would lose my mind. I'd be running around going, wait, what? You know what I'm gonna do? There we go. Much better. Allows me to seal the gubbins that I've dropped as well. I mean, to be fair, the light route is just around the corner. But, you know. I've got, like, hundreds of the stuff, so I'm not really fussed with using them. The game remembers my placement for what are they called? The bright blooms. Sorry, I need to finish that thought. Yeah, it remembers my placement for the bright blooms, but it doesn't remember my placement for vehicles and contraptions I've made. There's some weird priorities going on in this game. It's kind of awkward as well, because I would almost, like, just outright accept the idea that, you know, bright blooms could, I don't know, decay or something along those lines. But my vehicles vanishing is something that I really don't understand other than for memory purposes. But even then, there are ways around it. You know, when it comes to that, very simply save the location. Like, have the save the contraption in terms of its location and just, I almost want to say, like, deload it, if that makes sense. Like, just remove it when you're not nearby. It's sort of like how video games render things. How older video games render things in order to save memory at times. Older games would only render what you can see and what you can perceive, rather than anything else. I want to get rid of the thingy. Yeah, let's continue with the entirety of the left side. So we've... There we go, Master Sword power has been restored. Good stuff, good stuff. Is that not strong enough to get up there? I want to use it as much as possible. I also want there to be an ability where I can, like, increase the durability of the expendable vehicles and stuff. Like, hot air balloons I sort of understand, because you don't want to break the skybox. You know, they go up pretty high when you've got the resources to keep them moving, but gliders and planes and stuff... Okay, once again, granted, from the early game, I completely understand why you can't just abuse that shit. You want the player to actually, you know, play the game. Completely understandable. But... how can I explain it? Right, it's sort of like... a lot of the issues I have with this game are down to incentive. With... and the fact that a lot of these mechanics can be abused. If that makes sense. To completely bypass other mechanics. Now, to sort of iterate, I guess, and get my point firmly across about this, I don't have an issue with mechanics cancelling out the reason for using other mechanics. You know, that in many ways that's a natural part of that's a natural part of, like, upgrading your arsenal and increasing things. You're making things easier for yourself on purpose, and that's absolutely fine. My issue is more to do with how early and easy it is to get that to happen. Wait, where's his eye? Wait, what actually is his eye? Has he just... He's just gone all the way down there! This is pissing me off as well, especially in the depths. Are you kidding me? The boss is still right here, and he just wandered a few steps outside of his... Thank God it kept his health. It didn't do that last time, to be fair. Like, the very first time I encountered a boss that wandered outside of his fight area, and it just de-aggroed, his health came all the way back. So, yeah, excuse me for being a little bit paranoid about that. Holy shit. Holy shit. My boy. That is such a disappointing load. Are you kidding me? From what? From all of that, we got that minute amount. What the fuck? Can I see any light routes from here that I have not obtained? I do believe there is a big old nope that I'm being provided with here. But yeah, as I was saying, it's the idea of using other mechanics that reduce your incentive to use pre-existing mechanics. I don't have an issue with that concept alone, as long as those like mechanic um disincentivizing mechanics. It's a weird phrase of words I'm saying, but hopefully it makes somewhat some form of sense. Um, yeah, I don't have any issue with it by itself. It's more to do with whether or not it's earned. You know, so like I have beaten Ganondorf now, for example. I feel like that I am at a point where it's fine for the game to offer me more mechanical. I can't even think of the term for it now. Like, it's fine for the game to be like, okay, we are now going to give the player the ability to um, use the sky towers to go up into the sky, for example. I know that sounds like, oh well, what? Why would you even say that? It's one of the biggest mechanics in the game is going up into the sky. Yes, but could you imagine if the sky towers didn't allow you to leap up into the air? You know, you could call that ridiculous, but thinking about that for like even 2 seconds, it would be so much better if you would have to like almost earn the ability to ascend easily. A lot of things would fall into place if that was the case as well then, because then the lack of actual content up in the sky, but the increase in the amount of rewards you get for being in the sky makes a lot more sense. You're being rewarded by accomplishing. You're being rewarded by being there. You know, like it's not like the simple act of being in the star. The simple act of being in the sky in this game is. Oh, fuck it. Let me just rephrase everything I'm saying, because fucking hell. The idea of making the ability to go up into the sky a reward rather than something that you can abuse is so much more appealing, largely because, I mean, it speaks for itself, right? The idea that you actually have to put in the effort to go up to the sky, and that's why there's not a lot of content up there, but there is a lot of stuff in the way of rewards. So for example, like the Sunderlions that remove blight. Not what the fuck am I saying? Blight. That remove gloom. What the fuck did I say blight for? Anyway, yeah, by doing that, and once again, you essentially reward the player for managing to make it up into the sky in the first place. But okay, rephrasing this completely, it's probably better to start from the other way around. Having you look up what the sky towers are, right? The sky towers are essentially like a giant ass trampoline, a big old bungee into the Sky Islands. By itself, absolutely fine. You know, that's fine. But then you have a look at what the Sky Islands are. Okay, well, they're resource bundles, right? You go up there and there will be very little in the way of actual threats. The bosses there are decent enough, but the bosses in this game aren't exactly complicated overall. This game, in terms of presenting the player with threats, it is more to do with that of quantity rather than quality, unfortunately. But if we were to continue along that train of thought, that level of execution, you would start using like somewhat of a challenge. So what does the Sky Islands have in terms of an equivalent? Well, it's got the constructs, right? It's like, okay, what are the constructs in terms of depth? Like, what the varieties of the constructs? What are their attack patterns like? Are they particularly challenging the fight? Well, no. I mean, there is a level of subjectivity to that, absolutely, but when compared to I want to say, pretty much any other form of enemy in the game, they are probably the most simple in terms of their AI. There's some interesting things about them, absolutely, but they aren't complicated, I guess, to navigate around or deal with. So it's like, okay, fine, cool. Thumbs up, whatevs, all goods. I see you. So if we were to say then that, like, the constructs aren't really a challenge to fight, and the bosses up in the bosses up in the Sky Tower, in the Sky Island rather, are I get close to saying repetitive. They are repetitive in the sense that there isn't really a great variety of them. It's that Elden Ring effect, you know, the idea that there are a crap ton of duplicate bosses, and it doesn't really improve the challenge whatsoever. It just sort of gives you more to do rather than challenges, rather than acting as a challenge for the player. Which I guess is better than the alternative of it just not giving the player anything to do in terms of like bosses or unique content up there. But you get what I mean. You get what I mean. It's not a challenge. It's fairly lackluster when you're actually fighting enemies up there. So okay, in that case, the game actually warding the player off from going to the Sky Islands is it's practically non-existent. There's no reason not to go up there, you know. So it's extremely rewarding and it's extremely easy to get to. We have an issue now, because if the player focuses the majority of their time on exploring the Sky Islands and getting all the rewards and buffs and increases that you can get from that location, what you are essentially left with is a bunch of freebies. You don't want a bunch of freebies. You want the player to feel like that they have earn things. That's actually a very important thing when it comes to video game mechanics in general and rewards for doing certain things in a video game. You want to be able to allow the player to have fun, but almost, how can I describe it? You want to allow the player to have fun, but you also don't want to eliminate the effort that's required to get that to happen. You know, you don't want the player to be brain dead. So how can we improve the Sky Towers in order to make that happen? You know, and the Sky Islands as a result. Well, one of the options is to just lower the amount of resources and the gain you get from going up to the Sky Islands. Not entirely, but enough to balance things out. Okay, we can't do that. And the reason why we can't do that is because you remove that, then as things are with the Sky Islands right now, there's not a lot up there. By itself, as it is right now, it is lackluster in terms of content. So, would you increase the amount of content up there, the amount of reward? Well, no, because even with its lacking content, it is still somehow too rewarding. And then you have to take a step back and realize, okay, so what are the linking factors with all of this? Well, it's to do with the amount of effort it takes to actually get there. It's to do with the amount of effort it takes to go to the Sky Towers, and go up to the sky, and the fact that when you go up into the sky, there's a myriad of ways that you can teleport to locations up there, eliminating the need to eliminating the need or the challenge to find a way up there more creatively. And the frustrating part about that is the game already has the solution. With a lot of this game's issues, it already has a solution under its belt, in regards to the Sky Towers and a more intriguing method of, in terms of the Sky Towers, and a more intriguing method of not Sky Tower, sorry, the Sky Island rather, and a more intriguing method of getting to the Sky Islands. Zonite vehicles, job done. You've made it infinitely more intriguing to get to them. They're now no longer, the Zonite vehicles are now not just used out of convenience. There is an actual requirement from them, meaning that the player actually has to learn how to utilize the equipment efficiently. There's no downsides to that simple change. It's very simple and extremely effective. So, what could the rewards be up in the sky then? Well, in a manner of speaking, the Zonite capsules are one thing, absolutely. But we also have to take into account the mechanical pros and cons to having access to Zonite equipment easily, is what I mean. Having it be really accessible. Now, if you were to use this method of having the Zonite vehicles be used as a primary method of getting up to the Sky Islands, then the sheer freeness and accessibility of the Zonite vehicles can be excused at that point. You know, you've always got a reason to utilize that sort of stuff. Maybe you have to instead of like the capsule dispensers, maybe you have to complete certain challenges in order to unlock certain components. So you're limiting the player, but you're continuing like the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom routine of making them think on their feet, almost. So you're challenging the player to sort of assess what equipment they have and how it can be used. So, for example, making the wings a rarity. You know, the ability, or maybe like fans or something along those lines. The ability to fly, making that a rarity. Okay, well then, how can you go up? What is the alternative? Um, what's the alternative to flight in order to ascend? You know, and then you start looking at things like, oh, okay, well, maybe if I build a an all-terrain vehicle of sorts, you know, maybe you would have to use a certain type of material to put on the tires to make it easier to climb up mountains or something like that. And then once you've done that, you've got like an easier access to getting up to the point where you can now travel to the Sky Island. So maybe there would be like a Sky Island near a mountain, for example. Within gliding reach. Maybe just within gliding reach. And yeah, just by doing something as small as that, you really start to add significant more depth to mechanics that already exist. You also give a lot of mechanics that already exist a lot more purpose overall as well. Taking the Zonai vehicles, for example, the construction that you can be in the construction that can be done with said vehicles, it starts to put almost like this drain on thinking about utilizing them at times, because you realize just how easily abusable they are in this game. Yes, they're fun to use, but that doesn't stop them from being easily abusable. And if you wanted an excuse to make them easily accessible, maybe do something along the lines of having the depths be a really easy way to use Sonite vehicles, but have it be particularly difficult to get the vehicles up out of the depths, if that makes sense. So, like, for example, maybe you can't build flying or gliding Zonite vehicles down in the depths, but you can make extremely efficient like ground vehicles, almost for like excavations. It sort of balances itself out at that point as well, because then you know, you can't just drive it out of the depths. You'd have to think of a creative way to get it up and out of there. In which case, something along the lines of like the air balloons, for example, could be used to transport vehicles back and forth between the surface and the depths. I'm completely aware, by the way, that a lot of what I'm saying has contradictions all over it. But what I'm trying to say is that there are ways to um, make these mechanics significantly more interesting, significantly deeper in depth. And the best part is, you don't have to change how they function. You know, you do not have to change how these mechanics work. Just doing something like what I've been describing is as simple as changing the location of where you obtain these items. Because if we're looking at this game purely from a purely from every mechanic individually, rather we're looking at every mechanic individually in terms of functionality and not in terms of the crossover factor, if you will, then ooh, what's that? I haven't actually like explored these towers much, but yeah, as I was saying, like the crossover factor, the idea that that's a Lionel. Holy moly, we haven't actually fought one in this game yet, but yeah, the idea that if we have a look at the mechanics as they stand by themselves, they're pretty good. You know, they function, they get the job done. They're nothing special. They do what they need to do in order to I should have jumped the other way. Yeah, they do what they need to do in order for the player to get some form of fulfillment out of it. This is actually really difficult with the amount of things on screen. Ah. Wait, do you want me to... Yep. It's a silver one as well. I didn't even acknowledge that. So our first fight with one in this game is against the toughest variant. That's really interesting. Okay. You gonna do that again? I want to get a flurry rush on you, my dude. Yep. Oh, I thought I died then. Holy crap. Okay, okay. Da, da, da. Oh, that was great. Oh, come on. Oh god, this is bad. One more hit and I'm done. Oh shit. Oh shit. Did we do it? What are you going to give me for it? Savage bow, good stuff. Okay. Okay. The line of things definitely going to be like to finalize armor stuff. I actually need to get to the I need to continue my quest for the Great Fairies, don't I? I completely forgot about that, to be fair. That's fine. I'm perfectly happy doing what I'm doing at the moment, I ain't gonna lie. Just wondering how far that would go then. God, even something as simple as like allowing me to what the like oh. Can I get a demon horse? All I want is a little horsey for me. Just give me a little tiny horsey. It would be great if all these boys didn't just like swamp these guys. Are they actually disturbing them? Or is it me? Quick! Quick! Oh, I got one! I got a demon horse! I'd say that would be really good if it wasn't for the fact that it's absolutely temporary. You know, like, there is no way in hell. Yeah, that horse ain't gonna follow me. What a waste! You could have had something along the lines of like some of the exploration, like the excavation team down here setting up like stables for them or something like that. What's the point in coming up here? Yay! Oh, there is a shrine over there. To be fair, do I want to do a little bit? No, no, I don't. I want to continue down the depths. I want to feel danger. Where should I go, actually? A part of me thinks that going to a... Zoom. Yeah, part of me thinks that going to a mine would be best, because then I can start getting crystals and then we can continue to upgrade our gizmos and gadgets and whatnot. God, a part of me really just want to keep fighting them, but, you know, for the Zonite, but at the same time, I don't know, you know? Hang on. If I very quickly... lose some munchage. Get my munch on. You know, so I can withstand a few attacks, you know, nothing special. Oh wow. Obsidian? What?